Hi, and today we're going to do a sequence that focuses on your lower back, trying to stretch that out. So if you've got any pain in the lower back, this hopefully is a good one for you. It's a little bit windy, so you might hear the wind chimes. Also you might hear a bit of music courtesy of my neighbours. It is a Sunday, but hopefully you would just be able to turn this sound up a little bit if it's not very clear. So we're going to start this in all fours, and we're going to do some cat-cow. So normal position where you start with your hands under your shoulders and your knees hip distance apart. I'm just going to start with thinking through that breath in cat-cows. So as you inhale, drop your belly and look up to the sky. And if it's hurts your back, don't drop your belly too much, but just do try and get as much of an arch as you can that is comfortable. And as you exhale, breathe in and then stretch out, really round out your back. This is a nice, good stretch for you. And do a few more of those. So inhale, drop belly, no need to rush, just really concentrate on getting that good extension. And then exhale and round up through, again your back, stretching through. You can wiggle side to side if that helps. Two more. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, round your back, push into that mat, push up through your shoulders and really tuck the tailbone. Last one. Inhale, drop your belly, look forward, and exhale, round your spine and stretch up. So we're just going to go back to our sit down on our heels, just into a child's pose, and really think about rounding that back out, stretching your fingers out, and really, again, you can wiggle side to side if that helps, just really stretching yourself out. Now we're going to go into a hip flexor stretch. So roll on up to kneeling, and then you're going to put one leg forward. So I'm going to start with my right leg. Think about having this 90-degree angle with your knee and over your foot. And then really, first of all, just think about straightening up your body. Imagine someone's pulling you all the way up to your, just going to tilt this so you can see me a bit better. There we go. So think about someone is pulling you all the way up, keeping this nice and straight, and pulling you up from the top of your strings like one of those puppets. And think about also tucking in your tailbone under. Then I want you to think about leaning forward and stretching into your hip. So don't go too far forward, just go as far as you can with making it feel comfortable though. Just take a few deep breaths in and exhale. And as you breathe out, you might just go a little bit further, but again, don't go too far forward. Just really think about being here now and keeping it zipped up in that middle as well. It's not all about just leaning into the stretch, it's also about stabilizing through your core as well. So last breath in, is that plane, and exhale. And then we're going to go straight into the side. Tucking in, thinking bring that belly into that back to your back, and then we're going to lean forward again through that hip. So again, this is your hip flexor. You're just trying to stretch this one out. At the same time, you're keeping your core nice and stable and nice and strong. So you should start to feel that pulling all the way down, kind of towards your knee. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let's go a little further. Deep breath in. Exhale a little bit further, and deep breath in, and exhale. And we're going to keep the stretches. Now you want to come down into what we call a butterfly stretch. I'm just going to face the front. You sit down and then bring your legs in front and have your feet touching, and you can kind of hold onto your knees a little bit. You don't need to go too far forward. This is the first time we're doing this today, and it might be the first time you're stretching for the day. So just have your legs out in your butterfly position, so a diamond shape. Firstly, just think about, again, core engaged, so breathe your belly button into your spine, keep your core engaged. I'm just going to tilt forward just as far as it can go. Might not be very far, that's totally fine. Again, you're just strengthening these inner hips, inner thighs, just again to help this kind of whole lower back. And go, once you've gone far forward, you can just round into your back just to really get that extra stretch. I'm just going to stay here for 3 deep breaths. So breathe in and breathe out through your mouth. In through your nose out through your mouth. Last one, in through your nose, out through your mouth. So this is a plane, we're going to do 2 more. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Last one, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And then we're going to lift up. And now we're just going to go and do some work on our back. So lie on your back. Start off, just bring your knees into your chest and just rock them side to side. And then you can go in some circles. So circle around to the right, clockwise, whichever way really. Just remember to always do both sides. So let's just do another 2 on this side. And then reverse that circle around. Just finding a bit more rotation mobility into your spine. 3, 2, and last one. Then you're going to put your feet onto the floor, keep your knees bent, and we're just going to find some hip tilts. So you might have done this with me before. So we start with our hands in a diamond shape, place them on our pelvis, thumbs about your belly button, fingers down to your pubic bone. And then you're just going to find, this is a neutral spine when your hands are parallel, so your thumbs and fingers are at the same height. You should have a little bit gap under you, almost like a kind of blue-green, just about fit my hand, but not quite. And that is we call neutral spine. And particularly when you've got back problems, you want to think about being on neutral spine a lot. That's very important for you and keeping your core stable. So let's just do a hip tilt. So if you imagine you're squashing your back now, squash that belly blue bridge into the mat. This is called your imprinted spine. So you'll probably notice your thumbs are slightly lower than your fingers now. And this is called a posterior tilt as well, but really imprinted spine. And then you can go back up to neutral and then go back the other way. Your fingers are now lower than your thumbs. And this is your anterior tilt. And you should notice you've got a lot bigger arch now in your back. So if you've got back pain, this is probably not so great for you. So let's just go back to that neutral. Keep your, where your fingers and thumbs are parallel. And this is really where you want to try and be. So once you're in neutral spine, you keep your abs and everything kind of locked in. And we have these transverse abdominal muscles which go across your stomach. That's kind of, think about like you're wearing a seatbelt. You really want to kind of keep everything secure and locked in, and that helps protect your lower back as well. So now we found that neutral spine, we're just going to go into a glute bridge. So go firstly back into your pelvic tilt, and then keep that going by pushing into your feet in the mat. You can have your hands just by your side or keep them on your belly if you prefer. And do the pelvic tilt first, and then keep going, and then peel your way all the way up to the top, up to your glute bridge. You can probably feel your glutes switch on as you're holding yourself up. So keep your hips, think about them as being kind of lights pointing up to the sky. And then we're just going to go down. But when you go down, I want you to start by going down with your kind of upper back first. So really think about going back, really kind of put your almost back your bra strap down, and then keep going vertebrae by vertebrae. So keep your hips up as high as you can, and they should be the last thing that touches down to the mat. And all the way down back into your neutral spine. We're going to do 3 more of those, just slower. So inhale, and as you exhale, peel yourself up. So tilting first, peel all the way back up. So reversing what comes up last is the top of your back that we put down first last time. So hold it up in the top, and then roll your way back down, starting with the top of the back, all the way down, hips going to be the last things to drop. And drop. So that's how slow it should be. 2 more. Inhale, then exhale as you peel your way up to the sky. Hold that glute bridge at the top for 2 seconds, and then peel your way all the way back down and into that neutral spine. Last time, peel your way up slowly. Remember, nothing should be rushed. Just keeping it slow to protect your back. And we're going to go all the way back down, feeling it down. Now this time we're just going to go up to do 1 more last glute bridge and hold it. So peel your way back up, all the way up to the top. This time keep your hips as high as you can. Think about, can you push a little bit higher? Breathe in. Exhale, just think about pushing a little bit higher. If it really hurts, you can use your hands to support your back, but otherwise try and keep them down and really concentrating on switching the core on and using your glutes. Let's do 2 more deep breaths. Deep breath in, 1, and down, and last one, and down. We're going to peel ourselves all the way back down again. Now we're going to go into what we call some marching. So we're going to keep our legs like this, and I want you to remember that seat belt, the transverse abdominals that you have. Keep into your neutral spine. So imagine you've got a tray or maybe like a coffee cup or something on your stomach, and really keep that in. And we're going to be marching. So first we'll just lift your right leg, up to tabletop, and then place it back down, and then with the left. So we're just doing this gently and slow. So inhale and then exhale as you lift it up. Inhale, exhale with the other leg. So let's just do a few more on each side. So let's just do 3, 2, 2, and last one on each side. 1, 1. And now we're going to go into the leg extension. So keep the single leg. So we're going to lift it up, and then we're going to stretch it out, and we're going to go back in and down. So lift up to tabletop, stretch it out, back into tabletop, and back down. Up in the inhale, exhale, inhale, and down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, back down. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, back down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, back down. Last one. Inhale, out, inhale, back down. 1 more. Inhale, out, inhale, back down. Now we're going to add a ab curl. So you're going to put your hand, insert your hands between your head, keep your elbows stretched out, and then as we're going to start off in start with one leg in tabletop, and then we're going to stretch out as you lift up. So bring your neck and your shoulders, head and shoulders, off the floor. And then as you bring the knee in, we're going to go back down and that. So knee comes up, stretch out, exhale, in and down. Up, stretch out, in, back down. So bring your leg up first, then exhale up, in, back down. So knee comes up, ab up as you stretch out, on the exhale, in and back down. Knee up, ab curls, stretch out, in, back down. Let's do 3 more on each side. Up, out, in, back down, up, out, in, back down. When we're doing Pilates, we always think about exhaling on the harder movement. So you always inhale to prepare, exhale, inhale, back down. So we've got 2 more on each side. In, back down, and last one. In, back down. Okay, now we're going to just have our knees into our chest, rock a bit side to side, and we're going to sit ourselves up so you can just roll onto your back all the way up and just transition into all fours. So just turn over onto the back into your kind of cat-cow position. And we're going to do some single leg pulses. So start off with your hands under your shoulders and your knees hip width apart. And we're just going to extend out one leg. So I'm just going to do my left leg since it's the one closest to you. It doesn't matter which one you start with, just as long as you remember which one it is, and do the other one next time. So start with just extending your leg out just into hip height. You can keep that toe pointed. And we're just going to do some pulses up to the sky. So this is good just for stabilizing your lower back. Remember to keep that core switched on, keep your belly sucked in, pointing up kind of through. So someone's got a bit of a string again, and they're pulling your way up. We're just going to pulse that leg up. 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep strong on your arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bring that knee in to the bum, and then we're just going to stretch it out. Just going to do this for 5 and 4. Make sure your hips are stable. And 3, and you're not rocking side to side. 2 and 1. Keep it in and pulse up to the sky. So keep it at 90 degrees. Imagine your foot is you're trying to stamp onto the sky. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're just going to bring that knee down and just gently stretch back into child's pose. And remember, try and keep that back rounded. That's just better for your stretch out. Remember, someone's pulling your fingers along the mat, but you're keeping your back rounded. And now we're just going to go straight into the other side. So back into all fours. Remember, keep stable when you're in your all four position. Try not to rock yourself side to side. And if that means you have to do a lesser movement or can't go as far, that's totally fine. It's better for you to go a smaller movement than be rocking around and being unstable. So extend the other leg out. So for me, it's the right. And we can start the pulses, so up to sky. So 10, 9, 8, switch on the belly, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it says kicks in. So 5, out, 4, out, 3, out, 2, out, and 1. Keep it in. Donkey kicks up to the sky. So remember, flat foot, so you're trying to stamp something on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there you go, and back down. We go back into a child's pose. I'm going to come all the way up, and now we're going to sit down onto our side. So this time I want you to lie down onto whichever side again that you like. You can just use your head lying onto your arm, use your hand as a bit of a support pillow, and we're going to clam. So you bring your knees in front up to the mat, and your shins are parallel to the mat. And when these clams, sometimes you've done this before, remember, keep your hips stable, so don't rock side to side. Keep them as though you've got something like a string going all the way up. And if it helps, you can use your hand front, or sometimes I like to hold my hips to really keep it there. And with these clams, we're going to leave our feet attached and touched together. So just going to lift up our top leg. So lift that up and lower it down. It doesn't have to be a big movement. You should start to feel it in your glute already, which is just this big bum muscle. We're just going to do a few more, and again with the breath. So in, exhale, up. Inhale, exhale, up. Just going to do a few more. Start to feel it quite quickly in that glute muscle. And we're going to do 3, 2, and last one. Now we're going to do some side leg lifts. So stretch out that leg, and then we're just going to do some lifting up to the sky. So up, keep the pulse up to the air, up to the sky. You don't have to go very high, just do a small movement, pulsing it up to the sky. You can have your toe pointed, or if you prefer, you can have your foot flexed. I'm just going to keep going again. You can use that hand to stabilise you, to stop yourself from rocking back and forward. Let's do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and some circles forward. So not too big. If you find yourself rocking, that probably means you're doing your circles too big. It can just be the size of kind of a tennis ball. Don't just go to as big as a dinner plate. So the bigger you go, you'll become more unstable when you're rocking, and we don't want that one. Keep stability in your core, keep yourself switched on. So let's just do 3, 2, 1, and then reverse the circle. So you can go back. And again, sometimes one direction feels better than the other. You should start to really feel it in that glute now. So we're going to keep going around. And we're going to do 3, 2, 1. And before we move onto the side, we're just going to roll onto our backs. And we're just going to do some rotation. So you're going to lift up your knees into tabletop, and we're just going to drop your knees to the right hand side. You can hold your left arm out and just look to the side, and then bring them back to centre on the inhale. And then exhale, switch them to the other side. Arm can go out. So inhale back to centre. Keep them in tabletop. Keep your legs attached together. Legs down to the right. Inhale, back to centre, and then exhale out. Let's just do one full more rotation. Go back to the centre, drop them to the right, centre, and drop them to the left. And then we're just going to go back onto the other side. So remember which side you were on. I'm just going to have to swim around, and we're going to go back into those clams. So arm out, supporting your head. Keep yourself lying flat so you're straight down. Knees up to the front of the mat with your shins parallel to the mat. Keep your hips, your heels, glutes tucked together, and just lift and lower that knee. So we're going up. So remember again, no rocking with the hips, and keep your maybe keep your back a little bit towards the back of your mat. And we're going to go up 5 more. 5 and 4 and 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to stretch out that top leg, and we're just going to do some lifts. So remember, keep your toes pointed or your foot flexed. We just do whatever you did in the first exercise, whatever feels better for you. And again, not too high and not rocking. Use the hand definitely down to the mat if that helps with stability. Let's go up for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and circles forward. Again, this might feel a little bit more unstable. Some sides feel better than others. So you can make that circle smaller if it feels a bit better, just to keep it a bit more stable. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse the circle. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to just go onto our side. So I want you to sit up kneeling, but keep your legs tucked under you. So just sit up whichever way you was laying down. So for me, I've got my left legs out, but just whichever side, and keep kneeling. And we're just going to go into a bit of a stretch. So first of all, I want to just put your hand onto the sides opposite from where your feet are, and just stretch yourself over. So you can, and then we're going to sit back up. And you're going to keep going to this side. So stretch yourself over, and as you keep doing it, you might find you can actually start to lower your forearm down to the floor. Sorry, Siri wants to talk to me. And then keep on stretching yourself over. And this last side, we're just going to hold it for 3 breaths. So stretch your arm over, maybe look a little bit down towards your mat to really get that juicy side, and hold it for 3 deep breaths. 2, and 1. Now we're going to add into a bit of rotation, so stay in that same, and you're just going to turn it around. So put your hands on either edge of your mat, walk your fingers out front of your mat, keep them up onto, like you've got almost like cupcakes under your hand, and just stretch forward. You kind of round into your back, put your head down, and just hold this for 3 breaths. 2, and 1. Walk yourself back up towards seated. I'm just going to keep with that rotation. So this time, keep your hand, that front hand on your knee, and we're just going to turn around to the side. So look over that back shoulder, and we're just going to hold this for 3 deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1. And then before we switch on to the other side, just going to sit into the middle and go back into that butterfly. So keep your feet together in front of you. You can kind of hold onto your ankles, and you might find this time you can go a little bit further forward, but remember, we're going to sit up straight first. Remember that feeling of keeping your belly on, switched on, and pulling into your spine. So sit yourself up nice and tall. Maybe sometimes give it a bit of a wiggle, feels like you can sit up taller, and then lean forward, first hinge at the hips, and then you come around your back. And you might find this time you can actually go a little bit further forward. Now we've stretched out those hips a little bit more. Let's get a bit more into those inner thighs. Just hold this one for 3. And 2. And 1. And then you're going to walk yourself back up to seated. And now we're going to do the mermaid stretching on the other side. So swivel your legs round, so whichever way was the other side. And then we're going to go firstly to me, I'm going to the left, and we'll start off going really small, and then we're going to stretch up. And the lower, the more you can go, you can start to get that other forearm down onto the ground. Let's just go 2 more with the movement, and then we're going to hold it down. So 2, our last one, I'm just going to hold it, look down towards the mat if you can, really breathe in, 3 deep breaths, 3, 2, 1, and sit up. And then we're going to go back into that rotation. So turn your body towards the side of your mat, your fingers on either side, and then use it to walk your fingers down out into the front of your mat. Tent up those fingers, keep the cupcake protected, and look down and hold for 3 deep breaths. So 3, 2, and last one. Walk yourself back up to seated and just go into the other side stretch. So keep your front hand on your knee up here, and then stretch around and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Nearly there. I'm just going to come back round to the middle and then sit. You can either sit down with your kneeling, or you just sit cross-legged, whatever is comfiest for you. And we're just going to do some general rotation twists. So kind of what we did before, swing around your arms. Just keep them floppy, keep your shoulders loose. You can close your eyes if you feel this is a bit better, and almost feel like you're kind of pulsing and drumming at your side of your waist. So let's just go around for 6 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're just going to ground ourselves, finishing off this class. So I want you to take a big breath in, stretch your arms up to the sky, interlace your fingers, and then stretch all the way up. Lean over to the right, inhale to the middle, left, exhale, middle, and to the right, middle, left, middle. Inhale as you exhale, float your arms down slowly all the way to the ground until your fingers touch the ground and your back connected to where you are. Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed that bit more of a stretching type movement, and it should be good for your lower back. Thank you very much.